My flight crashed. In despair, the flight attendant allowed us to turn on our phones. I didn't get through to my boyfriend, Ethan Quinn. Instead, I saw screenshots in the group chat of Ethan Quinn asking Catherine Katie/Kathy/Kate Monroe to change flight. The message from the usually aloof man was pleading. Katie, I can't lose you again, please change flight, okay? I looked at their $9.99 plus messages and closed my eyes, dialing my best friend Scarlett Scar Jones's number. Scar, the plane crashed. I'll be up here watching over you, wishing you happiness forever. I hung up amidst her wailing. I'd transferred all the money from my bank card to Scar. The chocolate I had planned to use for the proposal was shattered along with me in the roar of the explosion, reduced to ashes. Ethan Quinn didn't know that the flight he had asked Catherine Katie/Kathy/Kate Monroe to change flight to, she had given to me. 1. My soul floated in mid-air, watching the scorched earth below. The roar of the explosion still echoed in my ears. In the blink of an eye, I was at the airport, watching Catherine Katie/Kathy/Kate Monroe's arrival. Tears streamed down her face as she threw herself into Ethan Quinn's arms, her long eyelashes casting shadows. Her voice was soft. Ethan, your premonition was right. I'm so glad I listened to you. Ethan, I almost lost me. Her voice was choked with sobs as she buried her head deeper. Ethan Quinn held her tightly, his trembling hand stroking her back, relieved that his love had survived. After a while, she looked up from Ethan Quinn's embrace. It's a pity I missed your birthday. I'll make up for the gift. Ethan Quinn's voice was choked with emotion. It doesn't matter. I'm lucky enough. Catherine Katie/Kathy/Kate Monroe's fans were moved to tears, raising their phones to capture the beautiful moment. They were thrilled that their goddess had returned safely, and they sighed with emotion over the previous flight's accident. A reporter who had been waiting rushed forward. Miss Monroe, I heard that you changed flight this time because of Mr. Quinn's sixth sense. Can you tell us more about it? She stepped out of Ethan Quinn's arms and instead took his arm. I was originally scheduled to be on the earlier flight so I could be there for Ethan's birthday. But he insisted he had a bad dream and wanted me to change flight. He sent $9.99 plus messages. Seeing how worried he was, I thought I'd rather be safe than sorry, so I changed it. I really didn't expect this to happen. My condolences to the victims. May they rest in peace. Hoping they are well in heaven. She bowed to the camera. Then she posted a screenshot of her phone, showing the messages Ethan Quinn had sent. Katie, I can't lose you again, please change flight, okay? Listen to me, okay? The group chat exploded. My Katie goddess is so kind. Thank goodness fate brought us together. Condolences to the victims. So, Mr. Quinn is Katie's savior. Ah, they are destined to be together. This is heaven making a match. It's against all reason that they're not together. The reporter then extended the microphone to Ethan Quinn. He usually disliked speaking in front of the cameras, but this time, he answered the reporter's questions with unusual sincerity. Thank God, thank my parents who passed away, thank my yesterday self, and thank Katie for listening. This is the best birthday gift I've ever received. A passerby said, who is that? Oh, it's Ethan Quinn from Anning Group. But I thought his girlfriend was Melody/Mel Quinn. Weird, maybe I misremembered. No one would pay attention to a few passerby's voices. Just like me, merely a passerby in their love story. 2. Perhaps it was my obsession in life that trapped my soul by Ethan Quinn's side. Once the crowd dispersed, the assistant stepped forward and asked Ethan Quinn softly, Mr. Quinn, should we wait for Melody/Mel Quinn? His eyes paused, as if he had just remembered me. Yes, I was supposed to be on that flight too. He picked up his phone and looked at it. Seeing no calls or texts, a hint of displeasure flickered across his calm face. Catherine Katie/Kathy/Kate Monroe's voice floated over. Didn't my sister let you know she was okay? Oh dear, that's worrying. Hearing her words, Ethan Quinn put away his phone, which he was about to use to contact me. She's always been so thoughtless. I've indulged her too much. It's time she learned a lesson. Let's go. With that, he opened the car door for Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe, supporting his hand on the roof and adjusting her skirt for her as he helped her into the car. Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe turned her head with an apologetic expression. Ethan, is my sister upset because she saw you picking me up? Should I call her and apologize? I don't feel good making her misunderstand me. Ethan Quinn's thin lips tightened. After a moment, he grudgingly spat out a word, okay. A surprised look flashed across Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe's face, but she quickly composed herself, hiding the unwillingness in her eyes. Listening to the news broadcasts at the airport, as if remembering something, she quickly dialed my number. Naturally, the call didn't go through. As she went to dial again, Ethan Quinn said coldly, forget it. It's her being unreasonable. It's none of your business. With that, he ordered the driver to start the car. I wanted to find even a trace of worry on his face. But in the end, I found nothing. It was also within expectations, and I got used to being disappointed. Just like him, who got used to lecturing me. He never understood that hurt always hurts, no matter the circumstance. Ethan Quinn had already forgotten that he had blacklisted me to teach me a lesson. That's why I couldn't get through to him on the plane. Being with him, I received mostly all kinds of lessons. Affecting his buying Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe gifts meant I had to be lectured. Delaying his watching Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe's performance meant I had to be lectured. Disliking him taking care of the sick Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe in the middle of the night meant I had to be lectured. Not letting Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe cut a rose on Valentine's Day meant I had to be lectured. Not wanting to give the kitten I raised to Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe still meant I had to be lectured. When I was a child, my teacher said that if I learned a lesson and understood things, I would be rewarded. But the teacher didn't say how many lessons I had to learn to be considered sensible. My reward was always far away. Now, death has become my final lesson. 3. Ethan Quinn took Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe back to his mansion. Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe had a permanent room in the mansion. Because Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe was the Quinn family's adopted daughter. Later, by chance, she found her biological mother, my stepmother. Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe left the Quinn family without hesitation and became my father's stepdaughter. Simply because her feelings for her brother, Ethan Quinn, were not purely fraternal. But Ethan Quinn didn't think so. Leaving the Quinn family and returning to her biological mother was because Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe was repaying their kindness. At the same time, she was filial to father and mother Quinn and loving to her brother, which showed that Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe knew how to repay kindness. She was a person who valued relationships, worthy of being a daughter the Quinn family had raised. What's more, we were already sisters, so we should get along well. Ethan Quinn and I met and fell in love in college. I once asked him that if he had feelings for Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe, we would break up. I didn't want to be a bad person, but he didn't even hesitate and told me without hesitation that their relationship was only fraternal. It was just that Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe was a little spoiled and liked to stick to him, her older brother. The look in his eyes was certain and made no pretense. Even now, Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe had taken a shower and was draped in a super short silk negligee, not even wearing a bra. She came into his study holding a glass of warm milk, and he didn't doubt this perverted fraternal affection. Before Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe could say anything, the doorbell rang. It was Ethan Quinn's childhood friend, Sean Flynn, who started praising him as soon as he saw him. Amazing, great prophet. Why don't I promote you? It'll definitely be a hit. A telepathic connection between lovers, snatching a loved one from the god of death. Listen to that, how romantic and touching. Hearing these words, Ethan Quinn frowned, and his deep eyes were filled with disapproval. Don't talk nonsense. I just had the dream I had when Mom and Dad passed away, and thought of Katie. It's nothing like that. He emphasized again, besides, we are just siblings. Sean Flynn looked at him like an idiot. Bro, isn't this the excuse you used to deceive Melody/Mel Quinn? You wouldn't even deceive your brother, would you? The air suddenly became quiet. Sean Flynn's expression became serious, his face incredulous. You deceived yourself too? He grabbed Ethan Quinn's left hand, revealing his slender wrist. On his wrist was a diamond-studded hair tie, dazzling and eye-catching. You're wearing Kathy/Kate Monroe's hair tie and telling me you're just siblings. Ethan Quinn denied it flatly. This is Melody/Mel's. Sean Flynn couldn't do anything with him and wanted to find Kathy/Kate Monroe's Moments post to let him take a closer look. I knew which picture he was looking for. I still remember that day was a gathering with my girlfriends, and He agreed to bring our families. As a result, Ethan Quinn told me that Kathy/Kate Monroe had a performance and that he, as her brother, had to attend. So, he turned down my invitation. That night, Kathy/Kate Monroe posted a picture on Moments of Ethan Quinn's left hand wearing the hair tie, with the caption, "Thank you for satisfying my possessiveness." However, she deleted it quickly. I knew she posted it for me to see. Sean Flynn couldn't find that Moments post, but he said with certainty, "If you don't believe me, just ask Katie." Ethan Quinn was extremely certain. There must be some misunderstanding. Katie and I are just siblings. Sean Flynn patted him on the shoulder, feeling frustrated. You're hopeless. If Melody/Mel Quinn doesn't leave you, you must have saved the world in your previous life. Hearing the word leave, Ethan Quinn seemed to hear something terrible. Impossible. Sean Flynn shook his head, took Ethan Quinn's phone, and found a video of the airport pickup edited by netizens. Bro, take a closer look. If you still want to be with Melody/Mel Quinn, think about how you're going to explain this. After flipping through it, he looked at the comments like marry them on the spot and heaven is making a match. His expression darkened. It seemed that I wasn't the only one who thought they had crossed the line. For Ethan Quinn spoke firmly, but after Sean Flynn left, he felt uneasy. I watched him take out a layered box from a locked oak chest. I was curious, and when he opened it, I found it was the cup I had given him. No, this cup wasn't the one I gave him, but the outer box was the one I gave, because it had my handwriting on it. I gave him an ice-cracked open piece cup, but this one had gold silk iron wire open pieces. Ethan Quinn carefully held the cup, gently wiping and maintaining it with a soft cloth in his right hand. I saw a jade earring in his treasure box, which looked like the one I lost. After he put the things back in the box and locked it, his mood calmed down. He stood in front of the box for a while, then walked towards my room. This was a guest room, but I occasionally stayed overnight, so it was assumed to be my room. There was someone in the room, Kathy/Kate Monroe. When she saw Ethan Quinn come in, she explained uneasily, "My room hasn't been cleaned in a long time, so I wanted to temporarily use my sister's room." But I clearly saw her throw away everything that belonged to me. There wasn't even a trace of me in the room. Ethan Quinn was oblivious. He was stunned, looking slightly displeased, but his tone was still gentle. Don't take the words on the internet seriously. Mom and Dad are already gone. I don't want to see any more loved ones pass away. Kathy/Kate Monroe's eyes turned red. Ethan, I understand. I will be with you for the rest of my life. Ethan Quinn didn't find anything wrong and closed the door for her. Naturally, he missed the desperate look in Kathy/Kate Monroe's eyes. I followed Ethan Quinn back to his room. I didn't want to sleep with him on the bed, so I chose the recliner in the room. In a daze, I had a dream. In the dream, it was the Christmas Lights Festival, and Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe snatched the octagonal Lotus Pavilion lantern I had chosen and ran towards Ethan Quinn in the distance. I watched them from afar under the pear tree, getting further and further away. Don't go. I was awakened by Ethan Quinn's mumbling in his sleep. Ethan Quinn on the bed also woke up. He wiped the cold sweat from his forehead, checked his phone, then ran to the study and started working. He was always like this, competing with me, never giving in. I thought maliciously, what would Ethan Quinn be like when he remembered that he still had me blacklisted and then found out that I had died on his birthday? But it had nothing to do with me anymore. I was too lazy to move, and suddenly realized that I could get further away from Ethan Quinn, so I turned over and went back to sleep. When I woke up again, Ethan Quinn's phone was ringing. He turned on the speakerphone, and it was the assistant's voice. Mr. Quinn. The assistant's voice sounded cautious. Ethan Quinn was impatient. What is it? Get to the point. Mr. Quinn, there are Miss Monroe's flight accident insurance policies waiting for you to confirm. His body swayed, but he quickly steadied himself. Ethan Quinn calmly analyzed. Check it out. There must be a mistake. It must be that Katie changed flight and the flight accident insurance wasn't refunded. It's a mistake. But, Miss Monroe. The assistant was about to say something, but he interrupted. Don't bother me with this kind of trivial matter in the future. I hired you not to focus on this kind of insignificant matter. I hope you can live up to the high salary I paid you. Also, Katie wants to set up a dance troupe. You need to supervise it. The assistant answered falteringly and hung up the phone. Okay, Mr. Quinn. Sorry to bother you. I'll let someone else handle it. I knew it. My death was just a small matter. Looking at Ethan Quinn's trembling hands, maybe he wasn't completely oblivious in his heart. I was a little looking forward to the day Ethan Quinn found out the truth. 5. Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe's appearance interrupted Ethan Quinn's silence. Ethan, are you worried about your sister? Don't worry. She should be with Scarlett's sister. I saw Scarlett Scar Jones's moments on her phone screen. It was two cartoon figures hugging, with the caption "Pick you home." We would send each other this picture when we were sad. My eyes turned red. Scar must be very sad. When I was on the plane, I recorded a will and entrusted her with my funeral arrangements. I only trusted her. I believed that she would choose a burial place that I liked, away from irrelevant people. I silently chanted in my heart, I'm sorry, Scar. I can't be with you until old age. Ethan Quinn looked at Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe's phone, and the expression on his face relaxed visibly. As if remembering something, he took out the hair tie he had taken off last night. Katie, is this yours or Melody/Mel's? A look of unnaturalness flashed across Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe's face. Ah, I forgot. Maybe my sister left it at my place. Ethan Quinn put the hair tie in the drawer thoughtfully. Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe bit her lip. Ethan, can you come with me to the dance troupe today? I've already told Assistant Sue. He will make the arrangements. Ethan Quinn answered as he tied his tie. Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe's eyes were covered with a mist of water. I just thought that if Mom and Dad knew I had my dance troupe, they would be very happy. Ethan Quinn was silent, and his voice softened. I'll go over later. Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe's mouth turned up. He wasn't satisfied with the tie after all, so he simply took it off. Ethan, let me help you. She held the tie in her hand. Ethan Quinn stared blankly at her hand holding the tie, lost in thought. I remembered once when I helped him tie his tie. The silk tie was wrapped around my fair wrist, and he lost control. He couldn't leave the house all day and almost missed an important negotiation. Afterwards, he told me, Melody/Mel Quinn, don't come over recently. You've caused me trouble. I want to calm down first. My nose felt sore, and I finally held back the tears. During his cooling off period, Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe posted a picture of him accompanying her to watch a car race. It was accompanied by a show-off text. Whose brother is sneaking out to relax? I am keeping you company, not stealing your heart. Regardless of whether Ethan Quinn had feelings for me or not, Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe was always a thorn in my side, ready to stab me at any time. No need. Ethan Quinn's voice pulled me back from my memories. He pulled back the tie that Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe was holding and closed the door to the dressing room. Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe froze in place. I heard her murmur, Melody/Mel Quinn, you're dead. He'll be mine sooner or later. I responded to her, you can have him. I don't want him anymore anyway. Ethan Quinn rushed out of the dressing room. Melody/Mel Quinn. I looked at him in horror and covered my mouth. He couldn't hear me, could he? How scary. 6. Ethan Quinn didn't find me, and his expression became disappointed. He finally took out his phone. He realized that I was still on his blacklist. I inexplicably breathed a sigh of relief, probably finding a reason for me not to contact him. He took me off the blacklist and then dialed. There was no sound. That was natural. The phone card should have turned into ashes along with me. After trying 3 times, he dialed Scar's number. Scar's voice was very nasal. She had been through a lot these days. What is it? Unaccustomed to Scar's cold voice, Ethan Quinn frowned. Let Melody/Mel Quinn answer the phone. How impolite. Melody/Mel Quinn doesn't want to see you. Then when will she be back? Scar's voice was hoarse. She must have been crying again. She won't be back. She doesn't want you anymore. Ethan Quinn finally softened his tone. Can you tell me when she'll be back? I'll explain everything to her. A mocking laugh came from Scar. 3 days later, the panic and anxiety in Ethan Quinn's heart finally settled. He lay comfortably on the bed and fell into a deep sleep. The door to the room was opened. It was Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe. She was enveloped in a seductive fragrance and was wearing my silk negligee. Ethan, you are my male lead. Sooner or later, you'll realize that the person you love is me. But I don't want to wait anymore. I don't like you thinking about that bitch. I thought of the glass of milk Ethan Quinn had drunk before going to bed. Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe had brought it. At the thought of what was about to happen, I felt like I was about to be torn apart. On the one hand, I was maliciously mocking Ethan Quinn. Look, this is the sister you were talking about. On the other hand, I was morally struggling with whether to wake Ethan Quinn up, because this kind of thing was wrong. Before I could make a decision, I realized that I couldn't make any noise. But Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe also gave up dejectedly. Because Ethan Quinn didn't get up at all. Moreover, he seemed to be about to wake up. Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe fled in panic. Ethan Quinn woke up. He seemed to realize that something was wrong, so he quietly got up and locked the door. He took off the newly changed pajamas and threw them into the trash can. He went into the bathroom and washed for a long time, and his skin was red from scrubbing. He stood in front of the bed and looked at it for a while, then started changing the sheets and quilt cover. I watched his actions and observed his expression. I always felt a kind of inexplicable gloom spreading from him. Did he know? Did he know that what I said was right? Our sister didn't want to be just a sister. But it didn't seem like it. Maybe he was just dreaming. Because I also didn't forget Catherine Katie /Kathy /Kate Monroe's words. You are my male lead. If we were just living in a fixed story, then everything would be meaningless. What's more, I was already dead. I wanted to go where I should go, not stay by his side. 7. Ethan Quinn took his phone and called me. After failing to get through again, he started sending me messages. Melody/Mel Quinn, I was wrong. Please come back, okay? If you don't like it, I'll have Katie move out of the estate. You promised to celebrate every birthday with me every year. I haven't received your gift this year. Forget it. I don't want any gifts. I just want you to come back. I miss you. It was rare to see him give in, but I didn't break my promise. After being with Ethan Quinn, I promised him that I would celebrate every birthday with him from now on. The nearest flight I could book would just miss his birthday. To get back on his birthday, I decided to change the flight at the airport. Originally, the flight was fully booked, so it couldn't be changed. I tried my luck and asked the staff at the last moment to change my flight. As a result, I, the forever unlucky one, finally got lucky once and successfully changed flights. I silently thanked the friend who changed the flight. After changing flights, the plane was about to close the boarding gate soon. I didn't have time to tell anyone and cut off the phone signal. I thought I'd give Ethan Quinn a surprise. It wasn't until the accident and the signal was reconnected that I learned that I was able to change flight because of Catherine Katie/Kathy/Kate Monroe and Ethan Quinn. She changed flights at Ethan Quinn's persuasion. It left me an empty seat. It also opened a death channel for me. Was this a twist of fate? I don't know. I just wanted to leave. Because I've been getting lighter and lighter lately. Ethan Quinn stared at his phone, hoping I would reply. But his apology was late. He would never receive the birthday gift I prepared for him. Unable to wait for my reply, Ethan Quinn's face was lifeless. Catherine Katie/Kathy/Kate Monroe, who was supposed to move out of the estate, appeared with a pale face. Brother, I won't be here to accompany you. You have to take care of yourself. Ethan Quinn's expression was normal. He nodded and squeezed out a Catherine Katie/Kathy/Kate Monroe looked at his face. If Mom and Dad knew that I went out to live and didn't take care of you, would they blame me? Ethan Quinn's expression softened. He seemed to feel that he couldn't vent his anger. This will always be your home. Catherine Katie/Kathy/Kate Monroe smiled like a child who had received candy, and her voice was sweet. I know, brother. Also, the rose garden you built for me should be taken care of by my sister. Many varieties were personally selected by you for me. She will like them. Ethan Quinn was even more satisfied. Yes, she will like them. Me. Ethan Quinn, you're lying. Your siblings, lock it up. 8. When Catherine Katie/Kathy/Kate Monroe moved out, she cleaned the room very considerately. Everything that belonged to me in this house was cleaned up by her deliberately. Ethan Quinn was very satisfied. He found a wedding company. He decorated the whole house with roses, starting from the door, surrounding the stairs, aurora and moonlight silver frost layered on top of each other. Pink and white and gray tones were my favorite rose combination. He also customized pink and gray dresses. I floated around in the sea of roses. It was so beautiful. Flowers always made people happy. So much so that I ignored a problem. I couldn't smell anything. I saw the diamond ring Ethan Quinn had customized. Although it was big, it wasn't as good looking as the one I had ordered. I wondered which corner of the world it would fall into. I originally traveled to get an engagement ring made. Only Scar knew my secret plan. Therefore, Scar must have been very angry when she saw Ethan Quinn's speech when picking up Catherine Katie/Kathy/Kate Monroe. I didn't know what part of my body could still be found. When I fell asleep again, I saw Scar. This great beauty, who always paid attention to her appearance, had swollen eyes. Her hair was also messily tied up, and there were wrinkles on her black dress. I wanted to go up and hug my princess, but I hugged the air. Trying to wipe her tears was also in vain. My Scar, who had promised to bless her happiness, was so sad. I was so useless. Scar brought back a severed limb found at the scene. He chose a pink glass urn for me. It was buried in a feng shui treasure land she chose. She also bought the land next to it, saying that the two of us could be companions in the future. Ethan Quinn was stunned when he saw Scar. He looked around, but didn't see me. His voice was a little flustered. Where's Melody/Mel Quinn? Didn't you say she would be back? Scar sneered and looked at him. What's wrong? Didn't your sister Katie tell you? Didn't your sixth sense tell you? You could save your Katie sister, but didn't you think that Melody/Mel Quinn might also be on it? Ethan Quinn's body trembled, and his voice was dry. Impossible. She told me her flight. He shook his head repeatedly. The speed of his speech accelerated. I know I was wrong, but don't joke like that. I can't stand it. Melody/Mel Quinn. Melody/Mel Quinn. He took out the ring he had prepared for the proposal, and his voice was sobbing. Melody/Mel Quinn. I prepared a proposal ceremony. Come out. Don't hide from me. Scar knocked off his ring, and her eyes filled with tears. What's the use of doing this now? I regret not advising Melody/Mel Quinn to leave you. She threw a USB flash drive at Ethan Quinn. Why should I let you live in peace? Take a good look at what good things you've done. You'll never see Melody/Mel Quinn again in this life. 9. Ethan Quinn took the USB flash drive and staggered all the way. His long legs knocked down several glass lamps he had arranged. The lights were broken, just like our past that we could never pick up again. The fragments cut through his flesh, leaving mottled bloodstains. His hands trembled, and it took him a few minutes to insert it into the laptop. There were screenshots of Catherine Katie/Kathy/Kate Monroe's moments. Scar also added a note next to it about my situation when she posted the moments. If you break my sister's wings, I will destroy your entire paradise. A dance picture of Catherine Katie/Kathy/Kate Monroe on May 20th. With the caption, "The best of me for the one I love." That day, Melody's heart was acting up during her checkup, and that bastard Ethan Quinn went to see the Green Tea Bitches dance show. Luckily, I was there for her. February 14th, Ethan Quinn's hand holding a single red rose. A Valentine's Day rose, one is enough. The Green Tea Bitch snipped one of Melody's roses, and that bastard Ethan Quinn said it didn't matter. It made me so mad. Valentine's Day, a memorial candle lit, the siblings paid respects to their parents who passed away together. The most romantic thing, every Valentine's Day, we spend it together. It's like Ethan Quinn doesn't need love in his life. My Melody deserves better. Some handsome guy is taking a roundabout approach and asking me for Melody's group chat info. Should I give it to him? And there's Scarlett's summary. If I had it to do over again, I'd advise Melody to break up with him. After that, it was my flight boarding pass. The one that crashed. Scarlett put a striking red circle around the flight number. Seeing this, Ethan Quinn painfully closed his eyes, tears streaming down his cheeks. He murmured, "I'm sorry, I didn't think." He couldn't continue. Any explanation would be too weak and futile. Besides the screenshots, there was also a video. There's a video of Ethan Quinn picking me up from the airport, where he solemnly says to the camera, "Thank God, thank my parents who passed away, thank my past self, and thank my obedient Catherine, this is the best birthday gift I've ever received." The words in the video kept repeating, like a demonic echo, a witch's curse. Ethan Quinn raised his fist and slammed it hard against his chest in a self-abusive manner. 1 punch, 2 punches. He coughed violently, coughing up blood, staining his tuxedo crimson. He collapsed onto the table, his shoulders shaking. He, who had only sobbed when his parents died, finally cried out loud. I could feel the pain and overwhelming regret in it. But the explosion hurt. Even if I had to leave, I didn't like that way to go. Ethan Quinn looked at the computer screen again and opened the next video. It was a video of me ordering a ring, and after choosing the style, I engraved the inscription on the ring. The brand recorded this video to commemorate it for the customer. I hid the ring in the chocolate. It was a birthday gift for Ethan Quinn. Now, every stroke engraved on the ring had turned into a sharp blade cutting into Ethan Quinn's heart. If it were me now, I wouldn't have ordered a ring, and I wouldn't have thought about marrying him. The video continued to play automatically. I saw Ethan Quinn's pupils shrink suddenly, filled with disbelief and horror. The screen showed the surveillance video of me changing my flight. When I ran into the gate, thrilled about successfully changing the flight, Catherine Monroe appeared on the screen. She looked at my back, her face filled with triumphant delight. Ethan Quinn watched Catherine Monroe in the video and snapped the armrest of the chair in half. Blood dripped. A murderous aura spread. He could no longer deceive himself that they were just siblings. At least, Catherine Monroe wasn't. Of course, it was also due to his indulgence. The sound of something heavy falling came. It was Ethan Quinn falling to the ground along with the computer. He tried to get up, but after several attempts, he couldn't, so he simply lay on the ground, submerged in the sea of roses. Like some kind of sacrifice. 10 When Catherine Monroe came in, that's the scene she saw. Ethan Quinn looked at her, struggling to get up, his voice hoarse with anger. Why did you do that? Why didn't you stop her? You knew all along. With the truth revealed, Catherine Monroe abandoned her usual fragility and slowly said, "You don't care about her yourself. Why should I? You didn't remind her, you're the one who blacklisted her phone. What right do you have to blame me?" Ethan Quinn looked Pa. His once deep eyes unfocused. You could have reminded her. You could have told me when something happened to her. Why? I just want my Melody to be okay. Enough. Don't you know why I did this? Catherine Monroe interrupted him hysterically. In the book, she was going to die anyway. I just changed the way she died. You gave me the opportunity. What's wrong with wanting you to only see me? Ethan Quinn's eyes widened in disbelief. I only ever treated you like a sister. Catherine Monroe's voice was hysterical. If it weren't for your obvious favoritism, giving me the illusion, how could I have fallen so deeply into it? You don't understand love. It's all your fault. Ethan Quinn closed his eyes helplessly. After a long while, he said, "It's my fault. I'm sorry, Melody, Seeing his appearance, Catherine Monroe's expression softened. Brother, she's just your early dead first love. Even if it wasn't because of the plane crash, she would have been diagnosed with terminal cancer soon anyway. You'll fall in love with me sooner or later, you just don't realize it yet. We'll be very happy in the future, and we'll have 2 cute children. Forget her, okay? Let's start over." The overwhelming information shattered all of Ethan Quinn's understanding. His consciousness was already blurred, and he murmured, "Get out. I only want Melody. Melody doesn't want me anymore." Catherine Monroe struggled to help him up, but he kicked her away. "Don't touch me." Catherine Monroe lost her balance and fell, a shard of a glass lamp piercing her calf. She shouted, "My leg." That's not how it was in the book. It was like a crime scene, a complete mess, and I also knew that I was just a supporting female character in a forbidden novel. Death was my predetermined ending. 11 Catherine Monroe's leg could no longer dance. She just kept murmuring, "That's not how it was, something must have gone wrong." She was like a madwoman. And Ethan Quinn just locked himself in his room, holding that cup. The screen kept playing the video of me engraving the ring, until he found the small words engraved on the bottom of the cup, "Brother." He laughed mockingly, and then the laughter died away. He just picked up a hammer and smashed the cup into powder, piece by piece. "I'm sorry, Melody, I didn't protect our lifetime together. I didn't even realize it was switched. Melody, I'm so stupid. Give me a chance, okay? Let me see you one last time. I haven't told you properly yet, I love you madly. I was just afraid that this version of myself would scare you. Melody." I looked at him like that and found it a little funny. I'm already dead, what's the point of talking about love or seeing each other? Repentance gained through death is meaningless. I looked up, looking outside, and suddenly heard a call. "Melody, it's time to go home." I ran out eagerly, it was Mom's voice. When I went outside, I realized it was snowing. Mom was standing under the dim street light, holding my down jacket in her hand, waving to me from afar. I ran to her in surprise, letting her brush the snowflakes off me and put on my down jacket. Then I threw myself into her arms. Mom's embrace was as warm as ever. I nodded emphatically, "Yes, let's go home." I looked at the figure running up behind me, it was Ethan Quinn. "Melody, where are you? It's snowing, let me take you home." "Melody." He ran forward, leaving a trail of scarlet footprints. Soon, they were covered with fresh snow. The snowy world was silent and peaceful, but it could never cross the distance between heaven and hell. Bonus, Ethan Quinn. I fell in love with a girl. She was my college classmate, Melody Quinn. She was studying painting. I first met her at the Rose Garden in the college. She was sketching. She was wearing a pink dress, and the section of her fair wrist that was exposed when she held the pen was like the finest mutton fat jade. She looked up and looked at me with her dark eyes, and I lowered my head in embarrassment. The blossoming crabapple blossoms in the garden could not compare to 1/10 of her beauty. From then on, my dreams were filled with that touch of pink. When I found out that she was stranded on the highway because of the heavy snow, I went to pick her up without hesitation. I was afraid she would be hungry, afraid she would be cold, afraid she would be scared. I told her I would take her home. When I picked her up, she hugged me out of gratitude. I wiped away her tears and felt that everything was worth it. God took pity on me, and Melody agreed to be my girlfriend. My dark world was filled with rosy clouds. Until we had our first argument because of my sister, Catherine Monroe. No matter how I explained that we were just siblings, she didn't believe me. My mom and dad died in a car accident while protecting Catherine. As her brother, I had to protect the girl they saved with their lives. What's more, by chance, Catherine was also the biological daughter of Melody's stepmother. This was a destiny arranged by God. But Melody didn't believe it. Melody said I didn't love her. How could that be? I loved her madly. I couldn't imagine what I would do if my world didn't have Melody. I still remember our first time. The surging love and immense satisfaction in my heart even scared me. I loved every curve of her body, every inch of her pink skin. Everything was a perfect and harmonious top-notch experience. I was afraid that I would become addicted to it and no longer be myself. My childhood friend, Sean Flynn, told me that you can't spoil a woman too much, or she'll have you wrapped around her finger for the rest of your life. I didn't agree. I was willing to pamper Melody. But one time, Melody helped me tie my tie, and I saw the silk negligee wrapped around her fair wrist. I lost control. The suppression after tasting the sweetness was like a thunderous storm. I couldn't leave the house all day. I almost missed an important negotiation with a business partner. I knew I couldn't be too immersed in it. I had to pull myself back from the edge of losing control. I decided to cool things off with her. So, when Catherine asked me to go with her to watch a race, I went. But my heart was filled with Melody. I could only force myself not to think about her. I wanted to get rid of this state. Everything gradually changed. My arguments with Melody increased. She became more and more unreasonable, and she didn't make me as worry-free as the pampered Catherine. I wanted Melody to be good and not always suspect my relationship with Catherine, but she always couldn't do what I wanted. I blacklisted her. I hoped she could understand me more. As long as she gave in, I would treat her very, very well. Until I had a dream. I dreamed that Catherine was standing under a pear tree, and no matter how I called out to her, she couldn't hear me. I panicked, so much so that I didn't notice that there was an even more familiar figure behind Catherine. I had the same dream the night my parents died. I was scared and insisted that Catherine change the flight. If the person my mom and dad sacrificed their lives to protect died like this, I wouldn't forgive myself. I believed that this dream was an enlightenment they gave me. And I saved Catherine. But my heart began to feel uneasy. I always felt like a piece of my heart was missing. I repeatedly confirmed with Catherine that my Melody was with her friend. But I just couldn't feel at ease. I had a dream. I dreamed of my Melody. I hugged her from behind, kissing her neck in a possessive posture. But when I looked at her back, in a flash of inspiration, it overlapped with a certain figure in the previous dream. My desire disappeared in an instant, and fear spread to every limb and bone. Just as a woman was about to caress my body, I bit the tip of my tongue and forced myself to wake up. I belonged to Melody alone. Not even in a dream. I got up and cleaned myself up. But how could Melody be in that prophetic dream my parents gave me? 5. I didn't want to give Melody the cold shoulder anymore. I just wanted her back by my side. I wanted to prepare a grand marriage proposal for her. My Melody was coming back. But Scarlett Jones didn't tell me that what was coming back was Melody's urn. When I saw the flash drive Scarlett Jones gave me, I realized that my Melody, the Melody I loved so deeply, had also changed her flight. To fulfill her promise to celebrate my birthday with me, she boarded the flight to her death, carrying the engagement ring she had prepared for me. And my good little sister, whom I was protecting, watched everything happen with her own eyes, listening to her nonsense. The arguments I had with Melody because of her made me want to die from regret. I wanted to kill the self on the screen who was thanking himself. This was God's punishment for me. I was unworthy of the treasure God had given me. So, my Melody was taken back. I believed that my wonderful Melody would be well in heaven. I had no face to hope for a next life. The only thing I could do was to send that Ethan Quinn, who killed Melody, to hell.